Now, I want you to sit back, take a deep breath, and think about something for a moment. Do you know what separates those who live extraordinary lives from those who simply get by? It's not some grand one-time breakthrough or a massive transformation that happens overnight. No, it's the little things, the small habits that compound over time and create lasting change. You see, success isn't a one-time event. It's not a single decision you make, a single action you take that turns your life around. Success is a series of small, almost imperceptible decisions that, when stacked together, create a life of fulfillment, growth, and achievement. And let me tell you this, these decisions are made in the small moments. It's the things we do on a daily basis, the things that seem so small, that shape our future. The decisions you make today are determining the life you will live tomorrow. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, Jim, I've heard this before, but how do these little things really make a difference in the big picture? Let me tell you a story about compounding effort. I remember a time when I first realized the power of small habits. I was just getting started in my career, working as a part-time speaker while building a business, and I wasn't exactly rich or successful. But I kept reading books. I kept trying new things. I kept showing up every single day. One day, a mentor of mine asked me, Jim, what are you doing every day to move yourself forward? And at the time, I didn't have a simple answer. Sure, I was busy, but I wasn't clear on the small daily actions that would take me to the next level. So, I started asking myself that question every single day. And that's when I realized something, that the small, consistent efforts were stacking up. Slowly, but surely, I was becoming better. Not because of one big event, but because of the little things that added up over time. The compounding effect of small habits. Imagine this. If you decided to improve by just 1% every single day, by the end of the year, you would be 37 times better than you were at the start. That's the magic of the compounding effect. It's not just about what you do. It's about how you show up consistently and commit to improvement every single day. Small habits, like reading a book for 15 minutes a day, adding 5 push-ups to your routine, or taking just 10 minutes to reflect on your goals, might not seem like a lot at first, but add them together over time, and suddenly you're stronger, smarter, and more disciplined than you've ever been. This principle of small changes leading to extraordinary results is something I've lived by, and it's what I want to teach you today. In fact, I believe that if you make just 10 small habits a part of your life in 2026, you'll look back at the end of the year and wonder, who was I before I started? It's that powerful. Creating the foundation for transformation. You might wonder, Jim, what do these small habits look like? How do I start? Well, that's what we're going to explore in this series. These are the habits that, when practiced consistently, will reshape your life, whether it's your health, your relationships, your finances, or your mindset. But let's be clear, it's not about perfection. Life will always throw curveballs, and you're going to have your ups and downs. The goal is to keep moving forward, to make progress each day. Because, as I've said before, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. So let's talk about these 10 small habits. In the following chapters, I'll walk you through the habits that will change your life in 2026. We'll discuss everything from your daily routine to your mindset to your relationships, and how small adjustments can lead to massive transformation. Now let's dive into the first habit, the power of a morning routine. The power of a morning routine. One of the most important habits I've come to cherish is the morning routine. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, Jim, what's the big deal about how I start my day? But let me tell you, how you begin your morning can determine the rest of your day, and even the trajectory of your entire life. Let me share a simple truth. The morning is the most valuable time of your day. If you can master your morning, you can master your life. It's the time when you're freshest, most energized, and least distracted by the demands of the world. The way you spend those first moments after waking up sets the tone for everything that follows. Now, when I first started working on my morning routine, I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I was simply trying things, getting up a little earlier, setting some intentions, and figuring out what worked. But with time, I started to notice that the days I followed a solid routine were far more productive, fulfilling, and focused. The ritual of rising early. Here's the first part of the routine: getting up early. Now, I know this sounds cliche, rise and shine, but it's powerful. Waking up early doesn't just give you extra time in your day. It gives you control. You're not waking up to chaos. You're not playing catch-up. You're stepping into the world on your terms. One of the first pieces of advice I give to anyone trying to make a real change in their life is this: start your day before the world wakes up. There's something deeply empowering about waking up before the sun comes up and knowing that you have time for yourself, time to reflect, to plan, and to set your intentions. Here's the truth. The world is loud. It's full of distractions, noise, and constant demands. But in those first precious hours of the morning, you can carve out some space for yourself. And if you do that, you set a strong foundation for everything that comes after. Setting clear intentions. The next part of your morning routine is setting clear intentions for the day. This might sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do for your life. You see, without intention, we drift. We get caught up in the day's tasks without ever taking a step back to ask, what do I really want to accomplish today? How can I make today count? At the start of each day, take a moment to ask yourself these key questions. What do I want to achieve today? What will make today a successful day for me? What small steps can I take to move closer to my larger goals? This simple exercise helps you clarify your priorities and cut through the distractions. You don't waste time on things that don't matter. Instead, you focus your energy on the actions that will move you forward. And let me tell you, clarity is everything. When you're clear about what you want to accomplish, your mind becomes like a laser beam cutting through the clutter. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop wasting energy. You just get to work. Physical movement to energize your body. Now here's a big one. Physical movement. Whether it's a quick workout, a few minutes of stretching, or even a brisk walk, getting your body moving in the morning is absolutely crucial. We were not made to sit still, especially in the morning. Movement wakes up the body and activates the mind. This is something I learned early on. When I started getting up and moving before anything else, I noticed a huge difference in my energy levels, focus, and mental clarity. I wasn't sluggish or groggy. I was ready to take on the day. But it's not just about physical energy. It's about mental energy too. Movement stimulates your brain, gets your blood flowing, and sharpens your thinking. And when your mind is sharp, you're much more likely to make better decisions, stay on task, and avoid getting distracted by trivial matters. Mindfulness and reflection. Now let's talk about something that's absolutely essential. Mindfulness. Taking a moment to center yourself, to check in with how you're feeling, and to set the tone for the day mentally is just as important as the physical. Before I dive into the tasks of the day, I always spend a few moments in silence. I reflect on my goals, my relationships, and my purpose. I remind myself why I do what I do and how each action I take contributes to the bigger picture. Here's the secret. When you're mindful and present in your actions, you're not simply going through the motions, you're living with purpose. And let me tell you, that's how life begins to feel meaningful. If you don't already do this, start small. Just take 5 minutes after you wake up to close your eyes, breathe deeply, and reflect. You'll be amazed at how much more grounded you feel and how much clearer your vision becomes. The power of gratitude. Another essential element of a solid morning routine is gratitude. When you wake up in the morning, before you even start your day, Take a moment to be thankful. It could be as simple as appreciating the fact that you're alive, that you have the ability to work towards your dreams, or that you have loved ones who support you. Gratitude changes everything. It shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. It helps you focus on the things you have rather than what you don't. I've made gratitude a part of my morning routine for years. And every time I do it, I'm reminded of just how blessed I am, no matter what challenges I face. Gratitude doesn't just make you feel good in the moment, it makes you resilient and optimistic. Creating a routine that works for you. Now listen, I don't want you to think that you need to have the perfect morning routine. The key is consistency, not perfection. You don't have to follow some cookie-cutter model of success. You need to find what works for you. Try experimenting with different habits. Maybe you'll meditate for 5 minutes or read for 10. Maybe you'll write down your goals or take a cold shower to wake yourself up. The point is, find what gets you in the right mindset, keeps you energized, and sets you up for success. But the key is to start small. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to do everything at once. Build your morning routine piece by piece and let it grow over time. I can promise you this. When you master your mornings, you'll start to notice a ripple effect throughout your entire life. The more consistent you are with your mornings, the more disciplined you'll become in every other area. And when you get this right, you'll begin to experience life in a whole new way. You'll start making better decisions, you'll get more done, and you'll feel more in control of your life. You'll notice your relationships improve, your health improve, and most importantly, your mindset will shift. You'll begin to see opportunities everywhere. But all of this starts with one thing, a small habit of owning your mornings, the morning routine habit, a game changer. Now I want you to take action. I don't want you to just hear this and think, that's nice, Jim. No, I want you to take one small step today. Start your morning with a new habit, whether it's waking up earlier, setting your intentions, or getting your body moving. When you do this, I promise you'll begin to see small but powerful shifts in your life. And those shifts, over time, will compound into something remarkable. So let me leave you with this. Small habits make big changes, and your morning routine, that's where it all begins. The importance of lifelong learning, ladies and gentlemen. If there's one thing that I believe can change your life more than anything else, it's this, the habit of learning. Now you might be thinking, Jim, I've already got a degree. I don't need to learn anymore. And I understand the sentiment. But let me ask you, how many of you are still growing, still expanding your mind, still pushing yourself to learn new things? Because here's the truth. You're either growing or you're dying. There's no middle ground. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And the key to constant growth is learning. Learning from books, from experiences, from people, and from the world around you. If you're not learning, you're missing out on opportunities. Opportunities to improve your mind, your skills, and your perspective. And when you learn, you evolve. You begin to see the world in a completely different light. The power of books. Let me tell you something. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is a good book. I'm not just talking about any book. I'm talking about the books that challenge your thinking, that push you to grow, that expand your view of what's possible. Now, I know it sounds like a simple thing, but it's profoundly powerful. You see, the knowledge contained in a book can transform your life in ways that nothing else can. That's why I've always made it a habit to read every single day. And not just casually flipping through pages. I mean reading with intention. I make it a point to absorb the lessons, reflect on them, and figure out how to apply them to my life. It's not about the number of books you read. It's about the value you get from them. I've read thousands of books over the years, and while I haven't memorized everything, the principles, the wisdom, and the insights I've gathered have shaped my thinking, my decisions, and ultimately, my life. But here's the thing, books are free. You can access the minds of the greatest thinkers who have ever lived, from Aristotle to Shakespeare to modern-day entrepreneurs. Their knowledge is available at your fingertips. All you have to do is pick up a book and open it. Learning from experience. Now, reading is an amazing way to learn, but experience is another teacher that's just as important. I don't care how many books you read. You can't truly understand certain lessons until you experience them firsthand. The key is to remain open to learning from every experience, good or bad. You see, every failure holds a lesson. Every setback is a stepping stone. It's all about your perspective. You can either choose to see your failures as defeats, or you can see them as opportunities to grow, to learn, and to improve. The choice is yours. The question is, what are you learning from your experiences? When something doesn't go your way, do you see it as a roadblock, or do you ask yourself, what can I take from this? That's the difference between someone who remains stuck and someone who grows. Learning from people. But it's not just books and experiences that teach us. People, whether it's mentors, coaches, or even friends, are one of our greatest sources of knowledge. If you're around the right people, you'll be learning from them every single day. Let me tell you about the people who influenced my life. I was fortunate enough to learn from incredible mentors, people who had walked the path before me, who had seen things I hadn't, and who were willing to share their knowledge and insights with me. And here's the thing, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are people out there who have already made the mistakes, found the solutions, and figured out what works. Why struggle through things alone when you can learn from others? Whether it's asking for advice or simply observing how successful people operate, you can gain immeasurable knowledge from the people around you. The 1% rule, improving every day. One of the most powerful principles I've adopted over the years is what I call the 1% rule. It's simple. If you improve by just 1% every day, in a year you'll be 37 times better than you were at the start. Now, I'm not talking about drastic overnight transformation. I'm talking about small, incremental improvements. Here's the truth. The road to mastery is paved with small improvements. Every time you read a page of a book, take a course, practice a new skill, or even reflect on your day, you're getting 1% better. And over time, those 1% improvements add up. They compound into something extraordinary. But here's the catch. You have to commit to it. You can't be half-hearted about it. You need to be intentional about your growth every single day. Every small step you take makes a difference. And eventually, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. The habit of learning, a lifestyle, not a task. Learning isn't something you do once in a while when you have time. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset that says, I am always learning, always growing. The best part about this is that learning is available to you 24/7. You can learn on the go, in your free time, or while you're commuting. Whether it's listening to an audiobook or watching an educational video, learning can be built into your daily routine. But you've got to be intentional about it. Don't let a day go by without learning something new, whether it's a small insight, a new technique, or a different perspective. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you intentionally set aside time to learn something new? And I'm not talking about watching TV or mindlessly scrolling through social media. I'm talking about actively seeking out knowledge that can help you grow as a person. If you make learning a priority in your life, you'll see the results. And it won't just be about acquiring more information. It'll be about transforming your life, one lesson at a time. The impact of learning on personal development. When you make learning a habit, it doesn't just change your knowledge. It changes you as a person. It changes your perspective, your thinking, and ultimately, your life. You become more confident, more capable, and more successful. Learning shapes who you are. It opens your mind to new possibilities. It challenges your assumptions and forces you to grow in ways you never imagined. If you want to change your life, learn. If you want to improve your relationships, learn how to communicate better. If you want to improve your finances, learn about money management. If you want to become a better leader, Learn from the leaders who have come before you. The beauty of learning is that it's always available to you. The more you learn, the more equipped you become to handle the challenges of life. And the more equipped you are, the more successful you'll be. The path to lifelong learning. Let me leave you with this. Learning is a lifelong journey. It never ends. Even when you reach your goals, there's always more to learn, and that's the beauty of it. So commit to learning every day. Read a book, listen to a podcast, take a course, or simply reflect on your experiences. No matter how small the effort, make it a habit and watch how it transforms your life. Making learning a daily habit. We've talked about why learning is crucial, but let's now discuss how you can weave learning into your everyday life. The beauty of learning is that it doesn't have to be a huge time commitment. In fact, you can learn in small bursts throughout your day, integrating it into your routine without it feeling like a chore. One of the easiest ways to do this is by setting aside time for consistent learning. I recommend dedicating just 15 to 30 minutes a day to something educational. It could be reading a book, listening to a podcast, watching a documentary, or even reflecting on an experience from your day. Here's the thing. It's not about how long you spend on learning. It's about the consistency. When you commit to learning something new every single day, you'll gradually expand your knowledge and skills. Over time, you'll realize that you've accumulated an immense amount of wisdom, and it will have a profound impact on your decision-making, your confidence, and your ability to navigate challenges. The key to this is simplicity. You don't need to make it complicated. Find a format that works for you and stick with it. If you're a reader, perhaps set a goal to read a chapter a day. If you prefer listening, listen to an audiobook or a podcast during your commute. Just make sure that every day you are feeding your mind with something that will help you grow. The power of reflection. Along with continuous learning, reflection is a key element of growth. Learning isn't just about absorbing new information. It's about processing it, understanding it, and applying it to your life. And that's where reflection comes in. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on what you learned. It could be something from your reading, something from a conversation, or a lesson from your own experiences. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? How can I apply this lesson to my life? What actions can I take tomorrow to reinforce this new knowledge? This practice of reflection helps you internalize the lessons you've learned, making them part of who you are. It also helps you recognize patterns in your behavior and decision-making, allowing you to identify areas for improvement. The more you reflect, the more you will grow, and the faster your transformation will be. Creating a learning environment. One of the most powerful things you can do to foster your habit of learning is to surround yourself with learning opportunities. This means intentionally creating an environment that supports your growth. Start by curating the resources around you. Fill your environment with books, articles, videos, and podcasts that will inspire you and teach you valuable lessons. Create a space where learning feels natural. This might mean setting up a cozy reading nook, subscribing to educational newsletters, or simply keeping your bookshelf organized with books that challenge and inspire you. But it's not just about the physical space. You should also be mindful of the people you surround yourself with. Are the people in your life supportive of your growth? Are they encouraging you to learn and push your boundaries? Or are they holding you back with negativity and complacency? Surround yourself with people who will inspire you to learn and grow. Seek out mentors, peers, and communities that prioritize learning and self-improvement. When you surround yourself with people who share your values and aspirations, your own growth accelerates. Taking action on what you learn. Learning without action is like a tree that never bears fruit. You can accumulate all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't take action on it, it won't make a difference in your life. After you learn something new, ask yourself, what's the next step? How can I apply this? For example, if you read a book on productivity and learn a new technique for managing your time, don't just close the book and forget about it. Start applying that technique in your daily life. Experiment with it, refine it, and see how it works for you. When you take action on what you learn, it not only helps reinforce the lesson, but it also builds momentum. Action is the bridge between knowledge and results. And when you take consistent action based on what you learn, you will begin to see transformation. The role of failure in learning. Here's a truth that many people overlook. Failure is an essential part of learning. Now, I know that no one likes to fail. It's uncomfortable, frustrating, and sometimes even embarrassing. But let me tell you this, failure is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. Think about it. Every successful person you admire has failed. They've stumbled, fallen, made mistakes, and learned from them. The key is to not let failure define you. Instead, let it teach you. Every failure is an opportunity to learn what doesn't work, so you can adjust your approach and keep moving forward. I'll tell you this, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. The faster you fail, the faster you learn. And when you learn from your failures, you turn them into stepping stones toward greater success. So instead of shying away from failure, lean into it. Treat each setback as a lesson, and then adjust your course. The more you learn to embrace failure, the more unstoppable you'll become. The key to becoming a lifelong learner. The key to lifelong learning is this: never stop asking questions. The best learners are the ones who are curious about the world around them. They don't have all the answers, but they are constantly seeking new information, new insights, and new ways to improve. So when you encounter challenges, don't just look for solutions. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How can I grow through this experience? And remember, learning doesn't stop at a certain age or level of success. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned professional, there's always something new to learn. And that's what makes life so exciting. It's a journey of endless discovery. The lifelong journey of growth learning is not a destination. It's a journey. And the more you commit to it, the more profound your transformation will be. Every step you take on this journey adds up. Every piece of knowledge you acquire, every skill you develop, and every lesson you learn shapes the person you're becoming. Now, think about it. If you dedicate yourself to learning something new every day, to growing just a little bit each day, what kind of person will you be a year from now? 5 years from now? A decade from now? The beauty of learning is that it never stops. There's always more to discover, more to understand, and more to become. And the more you learn, the more opportunities you'll create for yourself. You'll become more valuable in every area of your life, whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your personal fulfillment. So, make learning a part of your daily routine. Commit to growth. And remember, learning isn't just something you do for success. It's something you do for yourself. Because when you're constantly learning, you're constantly becoming a better version of who you were yesterday. The power of kindness. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start this chapter with something that might surprise you. Kindness is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. Now, I know it might not seem like the most obvious choice for personal growth, but hear me out. We live in a world that often prioritizes competition, success, and achievement. We are constantly striving to get ahead, to stand out, and to prove our worth. But in the midst of all this, we can forget something fundamental, the true value of human connection. You see, kindness is the glue that holds everything together. It's the foundation of strong relationships, lasting influence, and true success. And it's in the small acts of kindness, the seemingly insignificant moments, that we shape not just our relationships, but our own sense of fulfillment and purpose. Let me share a quick story, the ripple effect of kindness. A few years ago, I was traveling for work. I was tired, worn out, and honestly a little overwhelmed by everything I had to do. I checked into a hotel late at night, and the clerk behind the counter greeted me with a warm smile and a kind word. She made me feel welcome, despite the hour, and it made a difference. That small act of kindness, her friendly attitude and willingness to go the extra mile, turned my day around. But it didn't stop there. The kindness she showed me made me want to be kinder to others. When I left the hotel the next morning, I held the door open for someone else, and I offered a smile to a stranger. You see, kindness is contagious. One act of kindness can create a ripple effect that spreads far beyond what you see. In that moment, I realized that kindness is not just a feeling, it's a choice you make every day, in every interaction, big or small. And when you make the choice to be kind, you're not just improving the lives of others, you're improving your own life as well. The impact of small acts. When it comes to kindness, it's not the grand gestures that matter the most. It's the small, everyday acts. Holding the door open for someone, giving a compliment, offering a helping hand, or simply listening when someone needs to talk. These are the actions that build strong relationships and earn the trust of others. I often say that success is built on relationships. And what is the foundation of any successful relationship? It's trust. And kindness, genuine, heartfelt kindness, is the best way to build trust. When people know that they can count on you to be kind, to treat them with respect and empathy, they're more likely to support you, work with you, and help you along the way. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should be kind just because it helps you achieve your goals. That's not what I'm talking about here. Kindness at its core is about making the world a better place, about leaving people better than you found them. It's about offering a piece of your heart and making the world a little brighter in the process. Now, let's shift gears and talk about integrity. Integrity is one of the most important qualities you can develop, not just for your success, but for your peace of mind. Integrity means doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. It's about aligning your actions with your values, regardless of external pressures. Think about it for a moment. If you don't have integrity, what do you have? Trust is broken, relationships are strained, and your own self-respect begins to erode. And no amount of success can fill that void. Without integrity, success is hollow. It's built on a shaky foundation. But when you operate with integrity, everything changes. You don't need to constantly watch your back or worry about what people think. You can hold your head high because you know that your actions are aligned with your principles. Living with integrity requires courage. It requires the courage to do the right thing, even when it's difficult. It requires the courage to stand up for what you believe in, to speak the truth, and to live authentically. It means showing up as the same person in every situation, no matter who is around or what the circumstances are. But here's the thing. When you live with integrity, you don't just earn the respect of others, you earn the respect of yourself. You feel proud of who you are and the way you show up in the world. And that pride gives you the strength to continue making the right choices day in and day out. One of the ways to cultivate integrity is to regularly ask yourself, am I living in alignment with my values? This simple question can help you stay grounded and focused, especially when faced with tough decisions. Integrity is about making the right choice even when it's hard, when no one is watching, and when it's not convenient. Kindness and integrity, a powerful combination. When you combine kindness and integrity, you become an unstoppable force. Imagine what would happen if you approached every relationship, every business deal, and every interaction with kindness and integrity. You would build lasting trust, create deep connections, and earn respect from everyone you encounter. People would be drawn to you, not because you're trying to manipulate them or gain something from them, but because they feel safe and valued in your presence. This is the foundation of true leadership. It's not about power or authority. It's about the ability to influence and inspire others through your actions, through your character, and through your consistent demonstration of kindness and integrity. And let me tell you something. When you lead with kindness and integrity, people will follow. They will trust you, respect you, and support you in ways you never imagined. Because kindness and integrity are magnetic qualities. They attract people to you and build the kind of relationships that stand the test of time. The personal rewards of kindness and integrity. While kindness and integrity are essential for building strong relationships and earning respect, there's another personal reward that comes with them. When you are kind to others, when you act with integrity, you feel good about yourself. You sleep better at night, knowing you did the right thing. You don't carry the weight of guilt or regret. Your conscience is clear, and that peace of mind is priceless. You'll also notice that when you live with integrity, you're more likely to attract opportunities. People want to work with individuals who are trustworthy, reliable, and consistent. And when you demonstrate kindness, you're not just building goodwill, you're building a positive reputation that precedes you. Building a legacy of kindness and integrity. Ultimately, kindness and integrity are about building a legacy. What kind of person do you want to be remembered as? Do you want to be known for your achievements, your wealth, or your power? Or do you want to be remembered as someone who treated people well, who stood by their word, and who made a positive difference in the lives of others? When you build your life on kindness and integrity, you're creating a legacy that will live on long after you're gone. It's not about the material things you accumulate. It's about the impact you have on people's hearts. And that is a legacy that is truly worth leaving. So let's wrap up with this. Never underestimate the power of small acts of kindness and personal integrity. It's in those small moments that you shape your character and your future. Every time you choose kindness, you reinforce the best parts of yourself. Every time you live with integrity, you build a stronger foundation for success. As you move forward in your life, remember this: success is not just about what you achieve, it's about who you become in the process. And when you make kindness and integrity a part of your daily habits, you'll become the kind of person who not only achieves great things, but who also leaves a lasting, positive impact on the world. The courage to stay true to your word. One of the most powerful ways to practice integrity is by simply keeping your word. In a world where promises are often broken and commitments are frequently overlooked, the ability to follow through on what you say, no matter how small, sets you apart. It takes courage to do this. It takes discipline. But more importantly, it takes a commitment to being a person of your word. It's not just about delivering on the big promises. It's about following through on the small ones too. The times when you say, "I'll get this to you by Friday," or "I'll give you a call tomorrow." Those promises are what build trust and define your character. Think about it. When you keep your word, people know they can rely on you. You become someone others can trust, someone who is dependable. And trust is the foundation of every relationship, whether personal or professional. So, here's what I want you to do. The next time you make a promise, whether it's to a friend, a colleague, or even to yourself, hold yourself accountable. Follow through. Do it with integrity. Because when you stay true to your word, you strengthen your character and build a reputation that will serve you for a lifetime. Being consistent in your actions. Now, kindness and integrity aren't just one-time actions. They are built on consistency. You see, it's easy to be kind once in a while. It's easy to do the right thing when it's convenient. But the true test of your character comes when things aren't easy. Being consistent in your kindness and integrity means doing the right thing even when no one is watching. It means showing up with kindness even when others might not deserve it. It means maintaining your integrity even when it would be easier to compromise. Let me give you an example. There have been times when I've been working with others, and it would have been so much easier to cut a corner, overlook a mistake, or promise something I couldn't deliver. But I chose to do the right thing instead, because I knew that in the end, my integrity was worth more than any short-term gain. And that's the secret. True success is built on doing the right thing every single time, no matter the circumstances. It's not about occasional grand gestures. It's about the small, everyday decisions that define your character and build your trustworthiness. The connection between integrity and leadership. There's something else I want to emphasize. Kindness and integrity are at the heart of great leadership. I often say that leadership is not about authority or power. It's about influence. And the best leaders lead with kindness, humility, and integrity. They inspire others not through their titles or positions, but through their actions and character. When you lead with integrity, people are more likely to trust you, follow your guidance, and support your vision. People follow leaders they respect, and respect is earned through consistent, kind, and principled behavior. As a leader, your integrity is your currency. It's how you build trust, foster loyalty, and create a positive environment. When others know you act with integrity, they are more likely to be loyal to you, to support your mission, and to do what they can to help you succeed. But here's the thing. Leadership doesn't just apply to those in formal positions of power. You are a leader in your own life, and you can lead by example in everything you do. Whether you're a parent, a business owner, a mentor, or a friend, the way you act influences those around you. So lead with kindness and integrity, and you'll attract others who share the same values. Kindness as a strength, not a weakness. Now, I want to address something that some of you might be thinking. Isn't kindness a weakness? There's a common misconception that to be successful, you need to be tough, assertive, and sometimes even ruthless. But let me tell you, kindness is not weakness. It's a strength. It's a power that can change lives, build bridges, and create opportunities in ways that forceful tactics never could. Kindness doesn't mean being passive or letting others take advantage of you. It means being compassionate, empathetic, and understanding while still holding firm to your principles. It's about being strong enough to choose kindness, even when the world encourages you to do otherwise. In fact, I've found that kindness is often one of the most powerful ways to deal with difficult situations. When you respond to others with kindness, even in challenging moments, you disarm tension, break down barriers, and create a positive atmosphere. Kindness can turn a potential conflict into an opportunity for growth, understanding, and collaboration. The impact of integrity on your mental health. While kindness and integrity have a powerful impact on your relationships and success, they also have an immense effect on your mental health. When you live with integrity, when you do the right thing and treat others with kindness, you create a sense of peace within yourself. Think about it for a moment. If you live in a way that feels dishonest, if you cut corners or break promises, it creates stress. You constantly have to worry about being found out or dealing with the consequences of your actions. But when you act with integrity, you remove that mental burden. You feel at peace with yourself because you know that you are doing the right thing, even when it's hard. Kindness has the same effect. When you show kindness to others, it brings a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. You feel good about making a positive difference in someone's life, and that sense of fulfillment has a direct impact on your overall well-being. The mental peace that comes from living with integrity and kindness is priceless. It's the kind of peace that allows you to move through life with confidence, without the weight of regret or dishonesty holding you back. Living with integrity. Living with integrity is not a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment. Every single day, you have the opportunity to make choices that reflect your values. Every interaction, every decision, every challenge is a chance to choose integrity. Here's the truth. Integrity is not something you can turn on and off depending on the situation. It's a way of being. It's a lifestyle that you commit to, day in and day out. And when you make that commitment, your life begins to reflect it. You begin to see the results in your relationships, in your career, and in your sense of self-respect. So make that commitment today. Decide that you will live with integrity, that you will choose kindness, and that you will honor your word, no matter what. When you do this, you're not just improving your relationships or building your reputation. You're building the kind of life that is grounded in peace, fulfillment, and lasting success. As we wrap up this chapter, I want to leave you with this thought. Kindness and integrity are the cornerstones of a life well lived. These two qualities will determine not just your success, but your happiness, your peace of mind, and the kind of legacy you leave behind. At the end of your life, people may remember your achievements, but what they will remember most is the way you made them feel, the kindness you showed, the integrity you maintained, and the respect you earned. So make kindness and integrity a habit. Practice them every day, in every situation, and watch as they transform your life and the lives of those around you. Remember, success is not just about what you achieve. It's about who you become in the process. And when you become a person of kindness and integrity, you create a life that is not only successful, but deeply meaningful. In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly moving. The demands of work, family, and life seem endless, and it can feel like we're always running from one thing to the next. It's easy to get lost in the chaos, to worry about what comes next, or to focus on the past. But here's a truth I want you to hold on to. You cannot live your best life if you're not fully present in it. Mindfulness, the act of being fully present in the moment, is one of the most powerful habits you can cultivate. When you practice mindfulness, you stop rushing through life, constantly distracted by the noise around you. Instead, you learn to engage deeply with the present moment, to focus on what's in front of you, and to experience life as it happens. Let me tell you something. When you start being truly present in your daily life, you'll begin to see things differently. You'll notice the beauty in the small moments. You'll experience a deeper connection with the people around you. And most importantly, you'll start to develop a sense of peace, a calmness that comes from knowing that you're right where you need to be. The importance of reflection. Now, mindfulness is powerful, but it's not the only thing that leads to personal growth. Reflection, the act of looking back on your experiences and thinking about what you've learned, is equally important. Reflection gives us the space to evaluate our actions, to understand our mistakes, and to identify the areas where we can improve. You see, growth doesn't happen by simply going through the motions. It happens when we take the time to reflect on our actions and experiences. And when we do that, we unlock new insights about ourselves and the world around us. At the end of each day, take a moment to ask yourself, what went well today? What could I have done differently? What did I learn about myself or others today? These questions are key to unlocking your growth potential. Mindfulness as a daily practice. Now, you might be thinking, Jim, I don't have time for all this mindfulness and reflection. I have a busy life. And I get it. Life is busy. But let me tell you something. Mindfulness doesn't require hours of meditation or sitting still for long periods of time. It's about making small shifts in how you experience your day. You can practice mindfulness in the little moments. When you're having a conversation, be fully present. Put down your phone, make eye contact, and listen to the person in front of you. When you're eating, take a moment to savor your food. Notice the textures, the flavors, and the smells. When you're walking, pay attention to how your feet feel against the ground, the air on your face, and the sights around you. The key is to stop multitasking, to stop rushing, and to focus on what you're doing right now. When you do this, you'll find that the quality of your experiences improves. You're not just going through the motions anymore, you're truly living each moment. Mindfulness enhances focus and productivity. You might be surprised to hear this, but mindfulness isn't just about relaxation. It's also about focus and productivity. When you practice mindfulness, you train your brain to be more present, which improves your ability to concentrate and stay on task. When you're fully engaged with whatever you're doing, You complete tasks faster, with more accuracy, and with more enjoyment. Whether it's writing a report, having a meeting, or even doing something as simple as cleaning the house, mindfulness helps you approach each task with greater focus and intention. Think about it for a moment. How often do you catch yourself thinking about something else while you're in the middle of a task? Maybe you're typing an email, but your mind is on what's for dinner or what's happening in the news. The result? You get distracted, lose focus, and take longer to get things done. But when you practice mindfulness, you can eliminate those distractions. You can stay fully immersed in the task at hand, which leads to greater efficiency and less stress. And the best part? You'll enjoy the process more because you're not constantly thinking about the next thing or worrying about what you're missing. Reflection, the gateway to personal growth. Mindfulness helps you stay present, but reflection helps you grow. It's the tool you use to turn everyday experiences into lessons. Without reflection, you're just going through the motions. But when you take the time to look back, you unlock the power of self-awareness and growth. I want to encourage you to develop a daily reflection practice. Every night, before you go to bed, take a few minutes to review your day. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? What challenges did I face, and how did I handle them? What could I have done better? What am I grateful for today? These questions don't need to be answered with long, elaborate responses. The goal is to simply take a moment to reflect on your day, to evaluate your actions, and to gain insight into how you can improve tomorrow. The more you reflect, the more you'll discover about yourself. You'll notice patterns in your behavior, your strengths, and your weaknesses. And when you have this awareness, you can make conscious decisions about how to improve. The connection between mindfulness, reflection, and emotional intelligence is powerful. One of the most powerful benefits of mindfulness and reflection is the development of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your emotions, as well as the emotions of others. It's an essential skill for leadership, communication, and relationships. When you practice mindfulness, you become more aware of your emotions in the present moment. You notice when you're feeling stressed, anxious, or frustrated, and you have the opportunity to choose how to respond. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can take a breath, reflect on the situation, and decide how to respond in a calm, measured way. Reflection also helps you develop emotional intelligence by giving you the space to think about your emotional responses to events. After a difficult conversation, for example, reflect on how you felt during the exchange. Why did you feel that way? How did you handle it? By cultivating both mindfulness and reflection, you can develop a deeper understanding of your emotions and how they influence your actions. This emotional awareness will make you a better communicator, a more empathetic leader, and a more self-aware individual. The habit of journaling, a tool for reflection. One of the most effective tools for reflection is journaling. Taking a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts, experiences, and feelings can provide valuable insights into your life. Journaling doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to write pages upon pages. It could be as simple as jotting down a few sentences about your day, what you learned, and how you felt. The act of writing helps you process your thoughts and emotions, which leads to a deeper understanding of yourself. Here's an idea for you. Start each day by writing down your intentions, your goals, or what you're grateful for. At the end of the day, reflect on what went well and what you could improve. This habit will help you stay focused, organized, and emotionally balanced. Mindfulness and reflection in relationships. Mindfulness and reflection aren't just powerful tools for personal growth. They're also essential for building strong relationships. When you're present with others, when you truly listen and engage with them, you create deeper, more meaningful connections. In relationships, mindfulness means giving the other person your full attention. It's about truly hearing them, not just waiting for your turn to speak. When you practice mindfulness in your relationships, You create a space of trust and understanding. Reflection also plays a vital role in relationships. After an interaction, take a moment to reflect on how it went. Did you communicate clearly? Did you listen well? Did you show kindness and respect? Reflection helps you evaluate how your actions affect others and how you can continue to improve as a friend, partner, or colleague. Mindfulness and reflection are not just habits, they are ways of living. When you incorporate them into your life, you'll begin to experience greater peace, clarity, and growth. You'll develop stronger relationships, become a more effective leader, and find a deeper sense of purpose in everything you do. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Even if you start with just a few minutes each day of mindfulness or reflection, you're making a positive change. Over time, these small habits will add up, and you'll see profound changes in your life. So, take the time to be present. Take the time to reflect, and let these habits guide you toward a life of deeper awareness, greater fulfillment, and lasting success. The transformative power of reflection over time. Now I want to share a final thought on the habit of reflection. Reflection is not just about the moment, it's about the long-term transformation that comes with it. You see, when you engage in daily mindfulness and reflection, you're laying the groundwork for personal growth that will continue to unfold. You may not always see dramatic changes immediately, but over time, you'll notice that you're approaching situations with more clarity, making decisions more thoughtfully, and responding to challenges with more resilience. Let's think about this for a moment. If you make it a point to reflect every day, to pause and ask yourself those important questions about what you've learned, what you can improve, and how you feel, over the course of a year, those moments of reflection will add up to significant self-discovery. It's like walking a path. At first, the steps may seem small, but as you continue, you start to see the distance you've traveled. The same applies to mindfulness and reflection. Every day, you take a small step toward greater self-awareness, and over time, you become a more grounded, intentional version of yourself. The quiet power of listening. Part of mindfulness, and an important aspect of reflection, is the ability to listen. Listening, really listening, is an act of mindfulness that brings you into the present moment. In today's world, where distractions are everywhere, the act of truly listening to someone without interrupting, without thinking about your response, just absorbing what they are saying, is rare, and it's deeply valuable. When you practice active listening, you show the person in front of you that they matter. You show that you are fully present with them, and in return, you build trust. You learn things you would have missed if you were distracted. You understand them on a deeper level, which strengthens relationships, whether personal or professional. And the beauty of listening is this. When you listen with full attention, you also learn more about yourself. You'll notice how certain conversations make you feel, what triggers your reactions, and how you process information. These are valuable insights that help you grow and navigate your own emotions and responses. So, next time you're in a conversation, make a conscious decision to listen with intent. Let go of distractions and focus on what the other person is saying. This practice, even in its simplicity, will deepen your mindfulness and enhance your connections with others. Mindful reflection in times of adversity. Let's talk about one of the most powerful ways you can apply mindfulness and reflection during times of adversity. Life doesn't always go as planned. We all face setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. And while it's easy to react impulsively in difficult situations, the true power lies in how we respond. This is where mindfulness and reflection become your greatest allies. When challenges arise, instead of reacting with frustration or fear, take a moment to breathe and be present. Ask yourself, what's the bigger picture here? What can I learn from this experience? How can I grow through this challenge? Mindfulness helps you step back from the intensity of the situation, allowing you to see things from a clearer perspective. And reflection allows you to extract valuable lessons from every setback, mistake, and challenge. In fact, the most profound growth often comes from our most difficult experiences. So, in times of adversity, remember that every challenge holds a lesson. And with mindfulness and reflection, you can navigate those difficult times with more strength, patience, and wisdom. As you develop the habit of mindfulness and reflection, don't forget to make gratitude a central part of the process. Gratitude is a practice that shifts your focus from what's missing in your life to what you already have. And this shift in perspective has a profound impact on your mindset and overall well-being. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on the things you're grateful for. They don't have to be grand gestures. Sometimes it's the small things that matter the most. It could be a meaningful conversation with a friend, the opportunity to learn something new, or simply a moment of peace and quiet. Gratitude helps you see the good in your life, even on the toughest days. It cultivates a positive mindset and shifts your focus toward abundance rather than scarcity. And when you cultivate this mindset, you open yourself up to more opportunities, more joy, and more fulfillment. So, as you reflect each day, make gratitude a priority. Acknowledging what you're thankful for helps you stay grounded and connected to the present moment, and it enhances your overall mindfulness practice. Mindfulness and reflection in everyday life. Let me remind you, mindfulness and reflection don't have to be reserved for special occasions or moments of struggle. They can and should be practiced in everyday life. Whether you're eating, walking, working, or spending time with loved ones, there is always an opportunity to be present and reflect. In the workplace, mindfulness helps you focus on the task at hand, reducing distractions and increasing productivity. At home, it helps you show up as the best version of yourself, fully engaged with the people you care about. Even in the smallest moments, like waiting in line, taking a short break, or enjoying a cup of coffee, there's an opportunity to practice mindfulness and reflection. The key is to integrate these practices into your daily routine so they become second nature. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel to be present, to reflect, and to learn from each experience. And over time, you'll begin to notice a deeper sense of calm, purpose, and clarity in your life. The benefits of mindfulness and reflection in your life. When you commit to mindfulness and reflection, you begin to experience life in a completely different way. You'll notice that you're more focused, more centered, and more intentional in your actions. You'll develop greater self-awareness and emotional intelligence, which will enhance your relationships and decision-making. You'll also feel more at peace with yourself. Mindfulness allows you to stop overthinking and worrying about the past or future. It helps you embrace the present moment where life actually happens. And reflection gives you the space to learn, grow, and adapt, so you can keep moving forward with greater wisdom. Ultimately, these practices lead to greater fulfillment. When you're mindful, when you reflect, you start living a life that's more intentional, more meaningful, and more aligned with your values. And that, my friends, is the key to lasting happiness and success. As we come to the end of this chapter, I want you to remember this. Mindfulness and reflection are not just habits, they are ways of being. They are practices that will guide you to live a richer, more meaningful life. They will help you become more present, more self-aware. In a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, mindfulness allows us to center ourselves and focus on what truly matters. And reflection gives us the wisdom to learn from our experiences and keep growing. So take this to heart. Start small. Practice mindfulness in everyday moments. Set aside time for reflection each day, and watch as your life transforms, step by step, into something more intentional, more fulfilling, and more aligned with who you are meant to be. Remember, The journey of mindfulness and reflection is a lifelong one. There is always room to grow, always more to discover about yourself, and always new ways to engage with the world around you. And with these habits, you'll continue to evolve into the best version of yourself. The power of consistency. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing that will separate you from those who only dream of success, it's consistency. You see, most people make big plans and set grand goals, but the difference between those who achieve and those who fall short often comes down to one simple thing: consistency. Consistency is the bridge between your goals and your achievements. It's the daily commitment to taking small steps, no matter how insignificant they may seem at the time. It's the power of showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Because here's the truth: success isn't about making one big leap. It's about taking consistent, disciplined steps in the right direction, day after day. The discipline of setting clear goals. Now, consistency doesn't just happen on its own. To stay consistent, you need something to aim for, something to keep you on track. That's where goal setting comes in. The most successful people I know are those who set clear, specific goals and break them down into manageable steps. But let me ask you this: how clear are your goals? I'm not talking about vague resolutions like, I want to be healthier or I want to be successful. No, I'm talking about clear goals, goals that are specific, measurable, and tied to a timeline. Here's the secret. When you have a clear goal, it gives you direction. It becomes your roadmap, guiding every decision, every action, and every effort. And that's why goal setting is the foundation of consistent action. When you set a clear goal, whether it's to lose weight, launch a business, or learn a new skill, you give yourself a target. And every action you take from that point forward should be aligned with that target. That's where consistency comes in. The SMART goal method. A great way to set clear goals is by using the SMART method. This stands for specific. Clearly define what you want to achieve. Measurable. Set criteria to measure your progress. Achievable. Make sure your goal is realistic and attainable. Relevant. Ensure it aligns with your values and long-term vision. Time-bound. Set a deadline to create a sense of urgency. Let me give you an example. Instead of saying, I want to lose weight, you could say, I want to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 months by exercising 4 times a week and cutting 500 calories from my daily intake. This goal is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And because it's so clear, you'll know exactly what actions to take and when to take them. Setting goals like this transforms your dreams into tangible, actionable steps. And once you set your goals, you can get to work on the consistent action part. Breaking down big goals into small steps. One of the biggest mistakes people make is setting huge, overwhelming goals and then getting discouraged when they don't see instant results. Here's the thing: you don't need to achieve everything at once. The key to making progress is breaking your big goal down into small, manageable steps. These are your daily actions, the things you can do consistently to move towards your larger goal. For example, if your goal is to run a marathon, you don't start by running 26 miles. You start with a small, achievable goal like running a mile or 2 a day. Over time, you build up your stamina and endurance until you're ready for the full race. Each small step you take brings you closer to your ultimate goal, and with consistency, those small steps add up to big results. The compound effect of consistency. Now let's talk about something incredibly powerful: the compound effect. The compound effect is the principle that small, consistent actions over time lead to massive results. Think of it like the snowball effect. Small actions that seem insignificant in the moment gradually build momentum until they have a huge impact. Here's a simple analogy. Let's say you save $1 a day. That's nothing, right? But over the course of a year, that's $365. Over 5 years, that's $1,825. And if you add interest, that number grows even more. The same principle applies to your goals. If you work consistently on your goals every day, whether it's learning a new skill, improving your health, or growing your business, those small actions will compound into something extraordinary. And eventually, you'll look back and realize that all those small steps led to a monumental change. Taking action every day, no matter how you feel. One of the biggest challenges you'll face on the path to achieving your goals is your feelings. There will be days when you don't feel like doing the work. You'll be tired, distracted, or simply unmotivated. But here's the thing. Successful people don't wait for motivation to strike. They act despite how they feel. They understand that motivation is temporary, but discipline is permanent. It's the habit of taking action, even when you don't feel like it, that creates results. And the more consistently you show up, whether you're feeling great or feeling exhausted, the more momentum you build. Think about it. If you only took action on the days you felt motivated, how far would you really get? The truth is, the most successful people are the ones who show up every day, regardless of how they feel. And with each action they take, they get one step closer to their goals. The importance of reviewing your progress. To stay on track and continue making progress, you need to review your goals regularly. You should take time each week, month, and quarter to reflect on your progress, assess what's working, and make adjustments where necessary. This review process helps you stay aligned with your goals. It's easy to get sidetracked by distractions, but when you take the time to assess your progress, you can refocus and keep moving forward. You can ask yourself questions like, am I on track to meet my goal? What obstacles have I encountered, and how can I overcome them? What changes do I need to make to improve my results? This ongoing evaluation ensures that you don't lose sight of your objectives and that you stay motivated to take consistent action. Overcoming obstacles on your journey. Let's talk about the inevitable obstacles. No matter how much you plan, you will face challenges. You'll encounter setbacks, delays, and failures along the way. That's a given. But here's what separates the winners from the rest. The winners are the ones who don't give up. They face adversity with resilience and grit. They embrace failure as part of the journey and learn from it. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to grow. When things don't go as planned, it's not a sign to quit. It's a sign to adjust, to learn, and to keep moving forward. And when you build the habit of consistent action, you learn to push through obstacles with persistence. Remember, success is not about never failing, it's about never quitting. The role of accountability in consistent action. One of the most powerful ways to stay consistent is to have someone hold you accountable. This could be a mentor, a coach, or even a friend who supports your goals and checks in with you regularly. Accountability helps keep you on track when things get tough. It gives you a sense of responsibility and motivation to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. Knowing that someone is counting on you to follow through can be a powerful motivator. So if you haven't already, find someone who can hold you accountable. Share your goals with them. Set regular check-ins and ask them to challenge you when you start to slack off. Accountability isn't about pressure. It's about support. It's about ensuring that you stay on track and continue to take action toward your goals. As we wrap up this final chapter, I want you to remember this. Consistent action is the key to achieving your goals. It's the habit of showing up day after day, taking small steps towards your dreams. And while it might seem slow at times, those small actions compound into big results. So what's the next step for you? I want you to think about your goals, write them down, make them clear, and break them into small, manageable steps. Then, commit to taking action every day, no matter how you feel. Build the discipline of consistent action and watch as you transform your life.